So with that, we're going to invite Hugh Chin with GrowTerra up to the stage. GrowTerra is a software platform for remote control and data collection of indoor farming. Let's give Hugh a big round of applause. Good morning, everyone. Before we get started, I want to share with you guys a quick story. A story about the relationship I had with my dad growing up. My dad has owned and operated a small indoor and outdoor farm in South Florida with his head grower, Pablo Hernandez. Pablo was responsible for everything with our crops, the root health, the nutrients, and all the chemistry that went into our crops, while my dad was focused on sales and business operations. But one winter, I remember my dad more stressed out than ever, because after 20 years of doing business, Pablo left our family farm. That left my dad to do all the responsibilities of the farm, and I would watch my dad through the winter, stay up countless and endless nights. I'd watch him at his computer screen, refreshing the page over and over, checking as a cold front would come through. As the temperature dropped and he got too cold, he'd grab his coat and head down to the farm. When he got to the farm, he'd go and manually turn on every single pump, valve, and sprinkler. That would spray warm groundwater, saving all of our crops that year. I never really knew why my dad was so stressed out, why he had to do that, but I knew he wasn't alone. Because the indoor farming market was growing. We see it booming because of the reduction in the amount of water it uses, the ability to grow acres of land, all in a room as small as this, and allowing farms to grow year-round. In fact, it's expected to grow at a CAGR of 18.9%, all in the next decade. With a growing industry comes growing problems, though. Farmers still have a lack of visibility, control, and repeatability for their farms. Farmers like my dad have to go on-site, often to multiple locations, and in-person check their crops. They have no way to remotely control their farming equipment, and there's no repeatability. There's a lot of turnover in farming, and with high turnover comes poor record keeping, and there's no repeatability for those crops. Which is why today we're here to introduce you to the GrowTerra Farm Management Platform, a data collection, cloud management platform allowing farmers to remotely visualize, control, and optimize their farming conditions. Farmers like my dad would instead receive a push notification telling him, hey, a threshold has been broken that you've critically set. It's time to take action. He'd flip a screen, go into the control panel, and be able to automate his farm. Taking action, turning on pumps, motors, blowers, bringing his farm back to a healthy state. And what I thought about the worst part about Pablo leaving was my dad having to stay up all those endless nights. It was really the 20 years of farm knowledge that he took with him. All those recipes and batches that my dad had perfected with him were completely lost, and my dad had to start from scratch. Now, while we knew that this was a big problem for the industry, and it was a big problem for my dad, how big of a market was it? It turns out it's a $39.5 billion market. And as we focus on 10% of the North American software, we're looking at a $225 million market. That market expected to grow at 16.3% over the next decade. So how we're going to capture as much of the market as possible is mostly through channel partnerships. Working with these ag hardware companies that are already deployed in a lot of these farms. They've got sensors, controllers, collecting data every day, and they're gold mines of data. We're here to extract that data and visualize it for the farms. Then you've seen grow system manufacturers. A lot of them have been in the news recently with container farms and these big industrial facilities where they've invested millions and millions of dollars already into their infrastructure, but we're here to be their software provider where they can outsource that. To give you an example of that, we're excited to announce we have an exclusive partnership with Agritech. They're an industry leader in ag hardware, and they've been in the business for 16 years with over 1,400 deployed systems. Conservatively, we're going to tackle about half of those over the next couple of years, leading to an ARR of $2.2 million. We're excited to announce that just yesterday we finalized a lot of our terms, and we're moving forward in our commercial negotiation. How we're going to generate funds for this business is mostly through two channels: system integration and software licensing. With a unique business model, we need to have the right team, a team that has experience in sales, engineering, and deploying system integration. And for that, I'd like to introduce you to my co-founder, Connor Nickley.
Awesome. So me and you come from mechanical engineering backgrounds, but have focused our careers in technical sales because we love working with customers and solving their challenges. While working together at Rockwell Automation, we have a combined 9 years of enterprise software selling experience. We've been selling similar enterprise software solutions to industrial manufacturing companies, Fortune 500 companies that you might recognize, and demonstrating the impact this technology can make on those life sciences, automotive, and other industries. What we recognized was that those same simple technologies could be applied to the agriculture industry and had the potential to make an even bigger impact because of how far behind that market was in technology. And that is why that's where we focused our attention. So to get started, we do what we did best. We started selling. We sold ourselves and our services to a container farming organization. And over the course of doing about $60K worth of systems integration services, we deployed a custom farm automation system that had version 1 of our software sitting on top. After completing that, we realized that the software we developed was really the key value point that we had remotely controlling that farm. And we wanted to see who else would benefit from the software, which is when we went to the market and did customer discovery processes and ultimately inked that partnership with Agritech, demonstrating the potential it had in the market. We then recognized that version 1 of our software was never going to scale. It was never built to be able to support growing with us. So we started developing a more scalable version 2 of our software, started designing it, and ultimately are starting a pre-sale campaign to get people on board. Now with all this momentum, we really need a partner to help us accelerate and take advantage of the progress we've made. And that is why we're here today looking for a critical investment partner that's going to give us an influx of cash that will allow us to ultimately finish the development of our software platform, onboard the clients we've been pre-selling on the second version of our software as well that are on the older version, and then develop the internal team both technically and commercially to support our installed base and to support our clients. So we believe we have the right product, the right team, and the right market fit to be able to bring this business to life. And we're here today to find a critical investment partner, advisors, mentorships, and technical resources that can join our team and help us grow as an early startup. And thank you.
Chris said I should start. So yeah, so I'm doing it. Yeah, the danger here is like I've already invested in 2 ag tech companies like this. One a developer grower, the other integrated hardware software. So with that in mind, I'm not going to play that role here today. I'm going to keep it a higher level, but we definitely need to follow up. Just want to start in reverse. The timeline. Here's what we've learned. Like that's a very, just for the audience and for you guys, it's a very helpful thing for me as an investor to see you demonstrate, even in a 5-minute pitch. So it's like you could come up here with an idea, but coming up and showing how we've demonstrated an idea, put a prototype or a V1, and here's what we learned. So like I would say actually more content around what you learned. You guys are really good at kind of positioning the why here, like why did you do this? Great kickoff with your family story. But I'd want to hear a little bit more on, go back to that timeline. Here's what we built. Here's why. Here's what we learned. Here's what we left on the cutting room floor. Here's what we're going forward with on this Agritech partnership. And then I think the only area I'd say, just to be critical on, like where could you have touched more, some more recognition of the marketplace. Like good call on, yeah, it's a huge TAM. I agree. Probably going to be bigger than most people think is my guess as well. But a little bit more precision around like here's where we fit into the space. Because again, like having seen probably 25 or 30 of these pitches over the past 5 or 6 years, demonstrating that knowledge kind of just gives the investor a sense that you kind of know what you're doing, the space you're playing in. And that's just going to help me, on that follow-up meeting. For Juan's intro, like this is about getting the follow-up meeting, right? So a little bit more precision on here's where we fit and here's why we think that's interesting and why we think there's an opportunity for us to leverage that. And then I would leave the uses, the convert, like we're raising 400 uses of capital, like leave that up longer, even in a short form like this. You could actually talk with that slide behind you, just so it kind of sinks in. Okay.
So I want to pick up on something that you said. Y'all are good presenters, like good storytelling, like it was good, right? Can you go back to the slide that talks about the market? It's like slide 4 or something, right? Yeah, that one. Right. So when a venture investor looks at an investment, one of the things they're asking themselves is, who are these people, right? And you guys seem good, right? Yes, crowd,
Yes.
You like these guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Good, right? And then, what do I think of the product, right? Okay, this product makes sense, all that sort of thing. And then the really important question is, what do I think of the market, right? Because in order for a venture investor to make outsized investment, they have to be able to build something that has scale, that's big, all right? And Hugh, I think you told me that the market for what you're going after is $225 million.
10% of the market.
What was that?
10% of the market.
So say that again.
10%.
10% of the market is 225. So the whole market is 2.25 billion.
Well,
Okay.
this is like global indoor farming.
So guys, what I took away from y'all's presentation is you're going after a small market.
Okay.
Okay, because if you tell me that there's a because what I got from what you said was there's a $225 million market, all right? It is really hard to build a company that's worth 100 million or 500 million or $1 billion in a market that's 225 million. It's really hard to do that, right? So if that is in fact the size of the market, right, you need to think about expanding what you're going after. If the market's bigger than that, you need to not say that. You understand what I'm saying?
Clarify more.
Yeah.
Got
Right.
it.
Did anyone else get that from them? Did you think a $225 million market?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul did, right?
I was on that same point.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they're in a down a rabbit hole that I'm not tracking, or maybe they're not. But yeah, we would talk a lot about that. We would talk. Half of our next meeting is going to be around.
We have a
What do you think
bottom-up
the
slide
market
too.
is?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. People will pass on your request for next meeting because you told them your market's too small.
Good point.
Right? They'll just go, this was great. You guys keep me posted. And what they mean is, like, why are you going after this small target?
Yeah.
Right? How big is the market?
Of software alone?
Yeah, how big is the market you're going after?
Yeah, I mean, this 2021 indoor farming software, so that's kind of narrowed down to what we're attaching, is 2.25 billion.
Okay.
So we were just trying to, and I don't know if we should even show this, Tom, I guess.
Yeah.
Like trying to say if we captured 10% of the market, this is what we could achieve, basically.
Okay. So you're saying if you got to 10% market share, you could cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally did not get that one.
I would say higher altitude. Like,
Yeah.
And there's a $9 billion addressable integrated software hardware.
It's growing
services
20% a
that-
year. Okay, well
We'll
now,
just keep it at that.
yeah.
Now we're all in the same neighborhood.
So when investors meet people who are presenting, right, they're looking for reasons to say no.
So don't give them that.
Well, yeah, well, like I'm not a professional investor, you are, right?
Yeah.
You see hundreds of pitches a year,
Yeah.
right? How many do you say yes
Meet for a second or third meeting,
to? Yeah.
15%, 12%,
Yeah. And how many do you actually invest in?
5 to
So,
3.
so you know for sure you're going to say no to 99% of people you meet.
Yeah, 97, 98%
Right?
is
And so like you're just looking for offerings, right? And you guys completely failed to give the people offerings because you're both sharp, you have good presentation materials, you're smart, you know what you're talking about, right? Your product makes sense, but on the market side, which is the hardest problem to fix, going after a too small market, you just got to make it too small.
Cool.
Right? What's the very next thing you're going to do in the next 6 months that's going to make this company like really sort of flip on and like go? And what's the next thing that's going to happen?
Yeah, so the biggest thing really is cash influx, right? So what we've been doing is we've been selling. We've been basically selling this product from our MVP, saying like, hey, go to the market. Are you interested in this? Going to all the biggest players and saying, hey, we could develop this, scale this out, build that right foundation for the software market. So what we've done is we've been partnering with Dual Boot right now. So we're in an accelerator called the New Tech Adventures. And what that's done is partners with Dual Boot. They've been doing our designs for our MVP. So from that, we need to do our development, but it's going to take a lot more cash. So we're looking to bring on some more internal resources, such as more software developers or a fractional CTO, kind of help with that, and then continue our pre-sales campaign. Yeah.
And we're selling a lot. Like I'm flying tonight to Michigan to go visit a bunch of different indoor farming operations with Agritech as a partner, kind of hand in
Are
hand.
you able to close deals now with the product that you have, or are you just able to close like LOIs and stuff?
We're going to close, like the pre-sale contract is like, hey, if you sign up now and the product's ready in 6 months, you'll get 2 months free.
So you can't revenue a customer right now?
No.
We've been working on some like engineering ways to kind of like band-aid, our product together. And there's things that we could sell today, but we're more focused on trying to sell them on that final product.
We've bounced back and forth so many times from advice on like, hey, you know what, take this V1, make it possible to go capture a little more revenue. And then sometimes we'll get advice like, you know what, focus on V2, go get contracts in hand, show commitment, and then go raise the money to finish it.
I also hit more on agrotech. Like it feels like I need more from like why. Like a quote from them, just something that gives me a hook on why agrotech wants to work with you.
Got it.
Because yeah, it is what it is. Like they're gonna bend that product and bend your time, which is probably your most valuable resource at this point towards their needs. Which might be great, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I want to know more about them. Like they're making it on planes and flying all over the country. Give me some more as to why that's worth your time.
Got it.
Do you want us to answer that? Or?
Who has a question? Who has a smart question? This guy.
Who has a question?
His hand goes.
I thought it was a really great pitch, guys. I'm curious to know about the onboarding client support model. What does onboarding consist of, and why exactly is that hard for you?
I'm sorry, ask that last part again?
So, what exactly consist of onboarding clients, and why exactly do I need that funding to onboard?
Oh, I got it, yeah. I mean, the funding is really to develop the platform, and the onboarding is really, hey, we've been pre-selling all these people and getting commitments, and now that it's ready, it's time for you guys to start leveraging our platform. So we'll go out to these farms that will already have a deployed hardware base with our partner Agritech, and we will come deploy our software above it, connect to the devices, pull the data, and onboard them onto the platform. So the funds is really, yeah, I guess I should go back to the funds are product development, operations, employment. So we're going to bring on some technical development resources to help us do that, customer support resources to help with the support side, and sales and marketing.
All right, let's give it up for the GrowTerra team.